You or someone you love needs help for an addiction. Where do you turn? Foundations Recovery Network offers individualized treatment for the whole person. Our goal goes beyond short-term sobriety. We address substance abuse and co-occurring mental health issues together, providing a firm foundation for long-term recovery. The first step is often the hardest, but we're here with a free assessment, insurance information, and treatment options. Our confidential helpline is available 24/7, so call 877-714-1318 and discover the Foundations Recovery Network difference today.
You're listening to Our Dad's Podcast from San Diego, California. Straight edge for life, son.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks to Humans for bringing us in, and thanks to you for supporting the show. Welcome to Sober Guy Radio. We put some new tunes up. That's Watusi from Humans off their album titled Noontide. Good homies of the show, and we always thank them for giving us some good tunes to rock out to on the intro and the closing of Sober Guy Radio. Also, on the intro, man, we got little Lucy and Cash. My kids were so rad enough to do a little intro action on that. So really cool to hear them, get them involved in that too. We're coming to you live from Innovations in Recovery Conference down in San Diego, California. Man, this is the 10th show we've done, and man, we're rocking it here. We're having a good time. We're kicking it by the beach, and we're meeting some damn good people out here talking some recovery. So hope you guys are enjoying the content that we've been putting out this week. Be sure to check us out at thatsoberguy.com for past episodes, resources. You can also contact us there, and you can help support the show by going there and doing that. Now, if you have any questions about whether you or a loved one may need some help, you can contact Foundations Recovery Network at 877-714-1318. Foundations has nationwide and residential outpatient facilities, and they can provide you a confidential assessment and review the best treatment options for you or your loved one. Let me give you that number one more time. It's 877-714-1318. I got my good homie Tad Stringam, who's been on the podcast a couple of times. If you go back to episode 97, you can hear in detail about Tad's gnarly story of recovery and redemption. One of my favorite friends to see at the conferences here. And he's also got his homie Bodie, the parrot, with us today. So Tad, man, thanks for sitting in and stopping by and rapping with me for a little bit, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
What's up? You had some seafood last night, I heard?
Had some seafood at the fish market.
Nice, dude.
San Diego, good stuff.
Dude, I can't beat San Diego, right? It's the spot.
San Diego is the spot. Amazing place.
I heard you got like 5 surfboards in your car too, but no leash.
I got 5 surfboards in the car. I got no leashes, and I played snag a surfboard, a paddle board. That's what, I chased that thing down about 5 times yesterday. Yeah. I was worried it was going to hit the rocks and smash, so one of the times my son ran into the water and grabbed it out before it went to the shore. So yeah, we're going to go pick up some leashes and get out there.
Your awesome lady Tammy just brought us some waters and some coffee, so thank you to Tammy for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Man, dude, I've been excited to chat with you, man. You have some new things going on. Some new projects, still helping all kinds of people out there in recovery. Let me start here for those who haven't heard episode 97. In just a couple of minutes, give us a brief overview of kind of your journey before we jump into what's going on today.
All right, journey was I grew up just kind of bucking the system. I've done a whole lot of work, a whole lot of personal work on this journey, but hopefully some people can relate to, I grew up as the black sheep. I grew up, hearing what a troublemaker I was and what a letdown I was. And I just kind of took that persona on and ran with it. Barely graduated high school and about a year later found myself in a whole lot of trouble, about to enter the state prison system, surrounding addiction, surrounding forgeries and committing criminal acts to support my addiction so yeah, I mean, I went in. I was a 150-pound blonde-haired, blue-eyed Mormon kid that didn't serve any juvenile hard time, and so it was an interesting go, man. Especially for my first year or two, I didn't know anybody in the system, and kind of had to fight my way to what I thought would be a respectable position, in the prison system. So, and continue to go back. I've done, like I said, a lot of research, a lot of my own work, and it's you heard that saying, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And I just had signed on, man. I'd signed on that, that I was going to be a nemesis to society, a nemesis of the government, or, whatever it was that all that garbage that I bought into, that this is who I am, and this is my label. I'm a convict. I'm a troublemaker. I'm a this and I'm a that. And so, it's been a long road, man, a long road of being able to reflect and look back, and do some real good introspection, and breaking the cycle. I mean, that's what it is. Addiction or repetitive, prison sentences, or, in and out of jail. It's a cycle. It's, and it just continues to run. And working with people, I hear them, blaming everybody, and, everyone's got a story for why they're fucked up. And I had one too,
How long were you incarcerated total?
Total was about 11 years, 8 months. So,
it's a long time.
It's a long time, man. And, I went through quite a bit of sexual abuse when I was growing up, a lot of physical abuse. I mean, even some religious abuse. And I love my parents. I love my family. I respect and honor them completely. They are amazing people that did the very best they could with 7 kids. But, as in doing my work and going to, the different trauma therapies that I have, I came to realize that I didn't get what I needed as a kid. And because I didn't get what I needed as a kid, we all come into this world needing attention, needing love, and like I said, my parents had 6 other babies to share that love, not to mention my dad was working his tail off to keep food on the table for us. And so, like I said, it's been a real interesting ride, man, to look back at it and kind of develop a new truth. Not that I'm a shitty person and I've been a shitty person my whole life. I'm a letdown to my family. All of these things that used to swirl around in my head, and I'd be a liar if I said they still don't. I still have inner demons, man. I'm not a guru, man. I think what makes me, and other people for that matter, not that it sets me apart, but I think it's what's really my ability to connect with people is that I don't go in and pretend, I'm well and you're not, and let me tell you how to be well. I go in and I think, people can look in other people's eyes and know, like, there's pain there.
For sure.
There's pain there, and this is somebody who went on a journey to really find themselves. But that's really what it was. I got to a point in my life, Shane, where I was either going to figure out a way to be happy, or I wasn't going to be here very much longer. And that's the honest truth, man. I mean, I kept going back to prison. I've got stab wounds, 11 of them to be exact in my body.
That's crazy, bro.
But yet I kept going back.
Yeah.
Dude, I kept going back. I'd get out and I'm shooting drugs when I got out of it. It was, but that's why I talk about the program, the repetitive thought patterns that continue to pervade your mind, and those thought patterns that you get emotionally involved with and decide to follow will lead you down either crazy paths or paths that lead to freedom and recovery, man. But when I talk about programs, a lot of people just download the program and they're almost like they're on autopilot. They don't understand. And look, I get addiction when they say there's a time when you're powerless. The thing that really frustrates me, and even with working with people, man, is that when you clean up, when you get sober, when you go through that detox phase of your recovery, and you're clean, like my little brother, man. I love my little brother. He can do no wrong. It doesn't matter what he does. I got his back. Yeah. My door is always open to him, and I'm afraid we're going to get a phone call that he's not here anymore. I really, truly am, and I think as an interventionist, that's really, really been a crucial part of being able to help the families, because in the beginning, I was just there as an advocate for the identified loved ones.
Yeah.
Look, man, this guy's, really messed up right now. And I can go in and kind of bring some clarity to the situation about what he's going through. It's been real interesting over these past few years, being on the family side of it, and being that this is my job. I mean, there isn't a case that I haven't taken on. I mean, people call me and tell me some really, really crazy shit.
Oh, I'm sure,
really
man.
crazy shit, man. And I'm always like, well, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. And to have the abilities that I have and know that I can connect and like influence people, but I'm not able to do it with my own little bro, probably somebody who's looked up to me more than anybody in this world.
Yeah, that's tough.
And
man.
I'm not able to get him to grab onto this life preserver that I'm throwing in the water. I mean, I've detoxed him 3 times in the last year, man. 3 times. He just left me again in California. So, and
it's crazy how, like we have our own programs that we run, but we also have people who are close to us that we love. Because I have a similar situation with my dad. Love him very much, but he just, he's on his own journey, man, and it doesn't matter what I do or what anyone else does or says or whatever. It's kind of up to him to decide when he wants to take that, man. And it's tough watching him go through shit when I know that there's a better life for him.
For
and
sure.
So I'm sure that's kind of the same boat with your bro.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And it's an interesting spot that interventionists are in today, man, because here, I believe we've got one of the toughest jobs. I mean, I used to work on an oil rig, man. I mean, that was, you're busting your hump,
it's hard-ass
dude.
work.
It's
Some
hard-ass
physical
work.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, there are times when I'm on intervention chain and I'm like, dude, I miss the oil rig work, man, because it's so difficult, because it's true. Like your dad does need, it is his journey. And it's not your journey.
Yeah.
It's their journey, and to rob them of their journey. Like, some people are here, some people aren't supposed to wake up out of this, I don't think, man. Some people are supposed to I don't know, man, I don't even know what the right word I'm looking for is, but I mean, look how many people have lost their battle, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I know firsthand from people that were close to me that, I mean, I can tell you that the way that I deal with suicide is completely and totally different, because I was really close to a guy that was actually in my program, and I was friends with him growing up in Mission Viejo, and he was telling his family all the time, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to kill myself. And they are tortured, and they would try and get me to go and drive around hotels to try and find this guy, and I tell them, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. If there's nothing that you or I can, if this guy's going to take himself out, there's nothing that you or I can do. I mean, and understand, I wasn't like that right off the bat. I did go looking at hotels. I did go, but it got to be where it was a regular thing, and I was starting to get fed up with it, man.
You get so wrapped up in it too, in their own stuff, and you put a lot of energy, time, sometimes money into that, and not that it's not worth it, but it's not worth it if they're not willing to grab, like you said, grab that life preserver without going out to you. One of the things I want to bring up too that you said earlier, you kind of started off with, I've been through some stuff, but I love my parents so much, and they're good. They always did the best they could. And dude, I can't tell you how many times in conversations on podcasts and interviews and stuff, when that question has came up for me, and I've always had to kind of start with that too. Like, hey, I know we went through some shit, but I love my parents. They did the best they could. And what I'm kind of getting at here is, do you find that being able to accept, because for a while those things used to beat me up, they used to control me, right? My past, that victim mentality, I guess. And once I embraced those, and I said, hey man, this kind of made me who I am today, it helped me to get over them. And also by talking about them too, have you found some solace and peace in accepting that stuff and understanding that it made you who you are today and put you where you're at today, and been able to kind of help you move on from some of those things from the past? Absolutely.
I mean, what you just said there was genius, man. It's you can't love yourself and hate the journey that shaped you. Mm-hmm. It's so you have to embrace it. It's what is. It's your history. But it doesn't define you as a person.
Yeah.
But again, we come into this world, especially in America, and we want to please our parents, right? I mean, that's what happens, man. You know, if you, it's a punishment and reward system.
Yeah.
You behave, you get the you know, the fish. You don't behave, you don't get the fish, man.
You ain't eating.
Go do a flip, you know. And if you don't do the flip, you get no fish.
Take that.
So, but yeah, you know, when I talk about the journey, you know, when I went to the Meadows, Survivors One, it's a workshop there. They've been doing trauma work at the Meadows for over 100 years. I mean, there's pictures on the wall of people doing their trauma work. It was an old cattle ranch. And
where's it at?
It's in Wickenburg, Arizona. It's called the Meadows, man. I mean, Pia Melody is a pioneer, is an amazing trauma worker, and that's whose model it's based off of. I mean, it was life changing because I went in there and I would defend my parents.
Yeah,
I would, you know, no, I had a good life. I had a good upbringing. I got all that I needed, and you know, my therapist was able to stop me and say, hey, we're not demonizing your parents. That's not what we're doing here. But if you're not going to be willing to look at whether or not you got all that you needed as a child or not, you know, they started getting me into, you know, well, what happened? Why were you a bad kid? I said, well, I stole a lot. I stole anything that wasn't bolted down. And, you know, why did kids steal? No parent tells their kids, yeah, it's all right sometimes.
Yeah, go steal.
It's cool. You want that Snickers more than that store does? Then yeah, it's okay. Put it in your pocket. Make sure no one sees you. Like, come on, man. No parents are telling their kids don't steal. So why do some kids steal and some don't?
When did you start stealing? Like, what's the first? Do you remember the first thing you stole, or like around that time?
I don't, dude.
No.
I remember, but I mean, dude, if it wasn't bolted down, it was going in my pockets
at an early age.
And it was. And I do outrageous things, man. I mean, I went and painted like neighborhood cars with paint. And I was a kid, dude. I was like 9 or 10, bro. When I went to Wickenburg, they helped me understand that if you understand the trauma, it explains the behavior. If you don't understand the trauma, you go through this life believing you're a piece of shit. You go through this life believing that you're somehow different because you've bucked the system. I get it now. I get it now that my journey on this planet was to be somebody that wasn't wanting to conform, that saw this thing as a program, that, you know, 100 years ago, all this stuff that we're tripping on right now as a people, we weren't even tripping on. It wasn't even real. It's man-made, dude. It's all man-made. And I love technology. We put people on the moon, but dude, we have disconnected from each other as a people. I mean, I went to New York to do some filming a couple months ago. And
was that for the documentary? Last time we talked, you were working on a documentary. You're about to work on something.
Yeah, I mean, it's still something that's in the works. It's still not. I mean, I've been in something that's in the works with TV for like 10 years now, bro. So It'll stay tuned, right? Yeah, you know, but I was in New York, bro, and everybody there's got their headphones in and their heads down. I like smiling at people. I like
fucking robots, though,
dude.
And I'm guilty of it at times too. So no, I got headphones on a lot, but
yeah. Well, look around, man. I even with my own kids, man. We'll be in our living room watching a movie together, and I'll just kind of like slowly glance around my living room.
Yeah,
they're in their phones, dude.
Yeah,
and the ones that are in their phones, we're in a TV screen, and we didn't grow up like that, man. No. That's not our generation. Is that crazy to think about that? Like, only 30 years ago, there weren't computers, dude. A cell phone?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
My kids don't get that. They asked me, Lucy asked Jess and I one time, she goes, hey, Mom, what was it like back in the olden days? I said, first of all, thanks a lot. I'm not that damn old. But we didn't have iPads and cell phones to do. You know, we were outside climbing trees, and I sound like an old man now, but you know, we were out doing stuff. And it's funny you bring that up because I was driving past. I can't remember if it was I can't remember where it was at now, but there was a group in the parking lot of like 6 dudes, grown men. These are grown dudes. They're standing in what looked like a pretty perfect circle, and every single one of them's on their phone. And I just drove by real quick, and I happened to notice it, and I just went, wow, these dudes, you know, here's 6 grown men standing in a circle, all locked into their technology. And like I said, I'm not trying to sound like I'm on some higher thing, because I'm guilty of it too, and I have to be very conscious of the time I'm on my phone. Plus, you know, a lot of us have to use technology for work too, and I think that's where it can get misguided a little bit. Oh, I'm locked in. I'm just working. And then before you know it, you've been locked into your phone or your computer for all day, man. And I think it does something to us mentally, from that spiritual place too. It messes it up.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely agree. I got a buddy that's a wine salesman. Mm-hmm. Cool guy. He was actually in federal prison with him, but he doesn't have a cell phone, man.
Yeah.
This guy's a professional.
Dude. I don't have a cell phone.
That is gangster, dude. He was at the spa with me. This new venture we're working on. He was in the tub. He said, I don't have one of those, man.
Write me a letter, motherfucker.
Dude, you remember when we were kids, the phone would ring. We would all take off after the phone, praying it was for us.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the olden days, man.
Oh,
the answering machine and all. Yeah. That is just, it's a totally different world that we live in.
If it's important, I'll leave a message. Sit your ass down.
Yeah.
Definitely different, man. What else is up, man? What new projects are you working on? I know we kind of started talking about it. I didn't get all the details yet, but you got some new projects coming up. What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, we I know that that I'm a huge advocate for CBD. I really, really believe that it's something that I understand the opinions that have been formed about this. About marijuana. I understand it. I know that certain people have gone to great lengths to make sure that it got the reputation of being the gateway drug, and all of the other hard drugs were led into by. Yeah. And look, man, I this little brother I was just talking about a minute ago, who's now on heroin. I kicked him out of my house 10 years ago. Because he wouldn't stop smoking weed. Like, I used to have really, really strong opinions about this stuff. Yeah. This isn't. I'm not a lifelong Cheech and Chong. I'm not. I smoked weed in high school. Did it lead to other stuff? I don't know. I think that's kind of. I think that to say that is to say that masturbation is the, gateway act for rape. Of course there's no heroin addict that didn't start with a joint. Yeah. I get it. I understand that. But so anyway, in my whole ventures with the whole CBD and medicinal marijuana thing, that's especially being a drug and alcohol interventionist, it's been kind of interesting, man, to go on this journey. But I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. And, there's a family that I worked with. I really, really love this family. And, before I'd come out about it, all the way out about it, where I'm like, look, it's time we look into this. This mom sent me a private message and said, I cannot support you. I have friends that I scream from the rooftops about how amazing you are. And this is a guy that I was with her son when he shattered his bong, his weed bong. So a
lot of people don't know though too that CBD doesn't have high levels of THC to get you high. It's not gonna get you high. So to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still learning about this stuff, as of recently, the CBD actually comes from the stock. We got Bodie's feathers.
Shedding everywhere.
Bodie's part of the conversation for sure too, man. He's kicking it.
This coast weather's got him picking feathers. There's feathers all over this whole room right now. He's rad.
But a lot of people don't know that the CBD there's nothing to get you high in there, and so you and I kind of talked about this yesterday. Actually, we talked about it a little bit on the episode with you and Tammy too. I recently am working through, right now, a torn underneath my rotator cuff, right? So ibuprofen hasn't been helping. I went to the doctor. They gave me and this was just last week. They gave me a cortisone shot. I got to get an MRI, all this stuff, and nothing is helping. And my wife has been a very big supporter of CBD oil for her migraines. And we have a friend, Eco Chic in Backerville, Chrissy, and she gets a lot of the products there. And she goes, why don't you try it? Just try it on your arm. So I got a roller on my arm. Yeah. And it's been helping, man. It's been relaxing in there. It's been helping with some of the pain. And obviously, how many people use it for cancer, for all kinds of stuff. So, Well, what's your take on it? You take it from there, because I want to hear kind of how you're using it, how you've been advocating for it, and let's help educate some folks out there at least a little bit more about it.
I love it. So yeah, I mean, I am a huge advocate for it. There's so many different benefits, of CBD. One of the best things that CBD does is repairs neural pathways. So anybody that Parkinson's and MS and all of these different cancer, the list goes on and on, man. It is, and so where I'm at with it, Shane, is that, and I believe that it's happening. I believe that we as a people are starting to, like you with your shoulder. I don't know what's going on with your shoulder, but I can tell you from experience that our medical industry wants to operate first. And well, most of them, I'm not speaking for all of them, most of them, they want to kind of practice medicine in the way that look, there it's downtime, it's pain pills, it's and that's kind of protocol, man.
Well, what about when you just went in the other day? Share your story just when you went in the other day and they tried to prescribe you some shit.
So I was at my farmhouse in Oregon, man, and I was working on trying to get my kitchen sink out. We're putting a new sink in, and had a pry bar on the sink, and I was prying it up, and a piece of porcelain went in my eye. So for a couple of days, oh man, it was painful. It was painful, dude. And I was trying to be tough, but I knew something was in there. But anyway, so I finally just went to the ER. It was nighttime. My eyes been bugging me, but I went in there, and the doc wrote me a script for 20 Norcos. Didn't talk to me about it. Didn't ask if I had ever had any kind of addiction issues. Didn't ask me if I was familiar with what opiates were, and if I knew that they were going to be addictive, meaning physically addictive, meaning that my body is going to go through, not just that I'm going to want them because they numb everything and make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. I'm talking about a true physical addiction where your body is going to have a response when you stop taking these things.
Where you said you used to wake up and pop 5 of them to get up for the day, right?
Norcos were my thing, man. Yeah. I mean, Norcos were my, I was working I was doing construction. I was doing a thing called trash outs. There was the whole real estate dive was going on in Riverside County, and I was doing where, people were getting evicted and they would just walk away from their home. So I was doing what's called trash outs. So you're just lifting heavy stuff into the back of a truck, and I would set my alarm about a half an hour before I'd want to wake up. I'd wake up and pop 5 Norcos and get up a half an hour from then feeling nice and good. Going and doing more damage, man. You're doing more damage to yourself. I mean, these pain pills are blocking these. We have pain. The human body's amazing, Shane. It's amazing, dude. Like,
So how has CBD and medical marijuana, how has it came in and really provided an alternative to some of these opiates and stuff that are basically killing people?
Man, I tell everybody that if you have a strong opinion about medicinal marijuana, it would change if you got a chance to see what it does to people that are suffering from acute withdrawal syndrome. If you saw people who were shaking, and especially if it's somebody that you love.
Yeah.
It's one thing, I love all humans, but I'm saying if it's somebody that you are directly connected to, a family member, for instance, that is literally going through hell, diarrhea, vomiting, shaking, anyone who's ever gone through any kind of an opiate withdrawal knows what I'm talking about. And you can give them this plant-based material that has no psychoactive effect at all, and it's in high doses, basically able to almost eliminate those symptoms.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're comfy. I'm not saying they're doing cartwheels in the living room, man. I'm saying they're not running to the toilet. They're not sleeping on the bathroom floor because they don't want to crap their pants. They're not sleeping on the bed because they don't want to puke. But I was talking about that. I was talking about my buddy Brandon, who used to have me running around the mountain checking hotels, and because he kept saying he's going to kill himself.
Yeah.
I got a phone call in Big Bear one day, man, and it was his mom. And this dude shot himself in the face in a park in St. George, Utah. He did it. He killed it. He took himself out.
Did it. This is your homie.
This is the
guy
I was talking about earlier. That when I said that I have changed my approach when I talk to families about suicide. I've changed my approach when I think about my own little brother who's out there in the battle right now. my little brother came to my house in Palm Springs a month ago. I detoxed him, and he told me he wanted to go get on methadone or Suboxone, and I told him it's not happening. I'm not doing it. Why would you? I mean, I use, my own product, man. I mean, the CBD and THC. It's not.
So what does that look like for somebody? This question is for me too. I'm really curious, and I know others out there listening probably are too. When you detox somebody off of that, what does that process look like? What's the amounts that you would give somebody? I'm sure it varies between the severity of their condition or whatever, but like just a general case, like what would something like that look like?
Well, I get my stuff out of Portland. I know some people that Ma and Pa, they're really, really cool people. They have amazing success stories with what they've been able to do with their extracted oils and whatnot. And so I get my CBD oil out of Portland, and it does. It depends on how long they've been, whether they're shooting it or not, I'm not willing to try and help anybody. I mean, help them, meaning like get them into a hospital, but if they're on benzos or they're on alcohol, which is really, really dangerous to come off. But if they're on opiates, man, I mean, I load them up. I mean, people don't overdose on the stuff. Yeah. And so I load them up, and you really you knock them down. I mean, that's the.
So do they smoke it though, or do they eat it? Is it just preference?
Eat it.
It's all edible.
Eat it. Yeah, I'm not even a fan of smoking, man. Yeah. I mean, you're introducing tar into your lungs. I'm not a fan of smoking, and you can ingest it. You can eat it. I put it in little clear capsules. It comes in like a little syringe, without the needle, and it looks like heroin is what it looks like. It's like that black tar, and that's. I mean, you buy better stuff. The stuff that I get out of Portland, they have clear CBD oil that's been processed even more and even cleaner. If it's dark like that, it has plant material in it. But I don't mind that. This stuff it grows right out of the ground, man, and it's strong, it's powerful, it's potent. And I'm talking about because I do use THC with the CBD.
That was my next question for you.
I do use.
So how does that? What's like the ratio to that, or does it just depend on?
It really all depends on what kind of oil they have, because I'm not able to get the same exact stuff each time, you know. And so I mean, I've run into some really good, and there's different stuff. I mean, we're not just talking about CBD and THC. We're talking about THCA, CBDA, CBC, CBG. There's CBNs. There's so many different things and we are really starting to test this stuff and get some answers. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, look, I know the opinions that people have, and I know they're strong, and I respect them. I don't ever try and push this off onto anybody. I mean, when people call me for help or call me for advice even, I tell them, look, you don't have to do THC. If you don't want to do THC, but if you go into a detox, if you go into somewhere, they're going to give you probably trazodone. Yeah. They're going to give you sometimes a benzo, a Valium. They're probably going to give you something to help you sleep. I mean, they're gonna give you.
They're gonna load you up too.
They're gonna give you chemicals, man. Yeah. And I'm not faulting them for it. We're all in this fight together, man. I don't think that anybody, and if you are in this industry and you're not in it for the right reasons, you get fronted out pretty quickly. It's true, dude. I love it. I love coming to these conferences because you hear all the drama and crazy shit going on. But look, man, if your heart's not in the right place and you're doing this kind of work, you're going to be selling cars shortly. Because
you got to wear a short tie to sell cars too. Okay. So what's the difference between CBD and THC to someone who might not know?
So the difference between THC and CBD is that THC has a psychoactive effect and CBD doesn't. So CBD is from the hemp plant. So basically what CBD is marijuana without the THC. So it's got to be like 0.3 or less. So, we're involved in a venture in Oregon where we're actually growing hemp, no THC at all.
What does that look like? Does a plant bud? So it doesn't bud?
It does bud.
It still does.
It does. It's kind of
really.
And we're growing indoor. We're growing indoor CBD.
Okay.
And then we're doing outdoor industrial hemp, which America was built on hemp, and a lot of people, you go and do your homework. It's not. I was thinking about that on my way over here. What am I going to talk about? I've been reading all these statistics. I try and stay, and I went to a conference in Aspen a few months ago if you do your homework, you see that these big corporations right now are buying up CBD oil. Are you familiar? Are you hip to all this?
Yeah. No, keep going. Yeah,
these big corporations are buying up CBD. Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is this, man? And it's I believe it's the next big thing. I really do.
I know that there are some big corporations that have bought I don't know when, if it was recent. I'm assuming that they've owned this land for a while, but up in Humboldt County in Northern California, they've plotted out huge, massive pieces of land up there to grow up there. And so I don't know exactly what corporations. I don't want to say the ones I heard, because it's just somebody who told me, but I'm sure that's and like you said, why is that? Well, what's the battle between big pharma though and CBD and medical marijuana? Where does that fall in line? Because you're taking away from that product, just like we were talking about the Norcos. Well, if we start prescribing people CBD and medical marijuana, that's taking money out of that back end system of opiates, right?
Absolutely.
Or pain pills. So I think and I'm not an expert on it by any means, but it seems to me that is where there's a lot of friction between that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the two biggest financial supporters of quashing medical marijuana getting out is big alcohol and big pharma. So, it's that's why I say that I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to be one of these dudes that's always, they're trying to keep us down. But look, man, follow the money.
Oh yeah,
follow the money. It's
when they invented the term conspiracy theorist, I found out from the JFK assassination. So if you question the narrative of why JFK was assassinated, which I don't believe what we were told was correct in that. I think it was all bullshit. They invented that term, and to my knowledge, it was the CIA who invented that term. They invented it so that way, whenever any situation occurs, and you simply question a narrative that you're told, you are looking like a tinfoil hat wearing motherfucker, and they can immediately say he's an addict, he was on drugs, he's fucking crazy, So we're losing that, and a lot of people are becoming hip to this now, which is awesome, man. We're seeing a lot of minds wake up, which is great. But it's we have to question stuff. And you said a huge thing: follow the money, man. On the back, and you got to do your research though too. It's up to us as individuals. I told my daughter that, and I said, look, babe, I want you, you trust me and mommy, but when we tell you something, go look, when you get older, obviously she's only 8, so I'm not letting her on Google, but go look it up for yourself, don't believe everything here. Go find out for yourself and make your own educated opinion, because they want a bunch of fucking sheep. So I'm just going to leave it at that before I start going on a tangent, but feel free to go into as much as you would like.
Oh, I love it, man. I mean, I love it. There's a whole bunch of quotes, that the Buddha said that I really respect. One of the, or was it the Buddha? Anyway, I believe it was. That
one
said,
of those smart
question everything. Even if I say it, question everything. I mean, look, man, I'm going off on a tangent here, but I grew up really strict LDS, really strict Mormon. And in my breaking away from the Mormon church, I've had a few conversations with my family about what it's about. And, I say that imagine if the Mormon church, imagine if the parents of the Mormon church could tell their kids, this is what we believe. We have done our research, we've done our homework, and we've made an educated decision that this is the way we are going to lead our life.
Yeah.
We want for you to go on your own quest for truth, and we're going to stand behind you as your family, as your parents, as people who love and honor you as a very intelligent being, to find truth for yourself and whatever that is. And if it's what we believe, cool. And if it's not what we believe, cool. I think it would be such a powerful. And the only reason I'm not bad mouthing the Mormon Church. What I'm saying is I'm speaking on that because I have experience.
Sure. I think it's fair.
And so, and I think it's really the same way, man. It's the same way with the whole medical marijuana thing. Is that 90,000 people every single year die from alcohol related deaths. Whether it's DUIs or alcohol poisoning or liver failure, all of these different things that 88,000, I'm rounding up, but every year. And And no one's saying a word about it, man. No one's saying a word about it. And all of these people are, that's why I say follow the money, man. Follow the money.
Didn't they do away though with cannabis because it was putting there was a threat to a different industry from cannabis, and that's why they made it illegal and demonized it? Like I don't remember what.
I mean, there's different theories, and like I said, the Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper, man. There are so many. I didn't finish my thought a minute ago. That outdoor, we're doing industrial hemp, which can be used for hempcrete and clothing and paper, and puts nitrogen back into the soil, man. Like, this stuff is not just good for our bodies. It's good for Mother Earth, dude. Like, have you heard about what's going on over there in Chernobyl?
No, what?
Dude, they are planting hemp fields over in Chernobyl, and it is cleaning the air, man. It is pulling the radiation. Really? Hemp, dude. Yeah. And that's why I say follow the money, man. I mean, there are some people who are making a home. Why are we still driving cars around with gasoline, dude?
Yeah.
Why? The technology's here.
Yeah. Well, the technology's there.
The technology's there, but you got these Texas oil tycoons and people in Dubai that are like, fuck you, you're not getting rid of this stuff. You understand? Like, you know what I mean? We eat caviar twice a day because, I mean, come on, man. We're destroying our planet, dude. We're destroying Mother Earth, and we need to, as a society, understand that look around. We're the only species on the planet that is fucking shit up, dude. The human being. Take the human being off of Mother Earth, and this thing starts to like, and I mean, there's a good push going on for this, dude. There's, outside of the cannabis thing. I'm talking about us waking up as a society where, look, maybe there is some stuff going on. I mean, why is chemotherapy the only drug where doctors actually make money prescribing it to their patients? They buy it wholesale and then resell it and make money. Dude, wait a second, man. Wait a minute. I mean, I lost somebody because of cancer, dude. My dad isn't here anymore because he had cancer. I'm one of these motherfuckers that is saying, look, dude, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to have intelligent conversations with you about it, but I don't have to argue with you. We have cannabinoid receptors in our body. Go argue with God. We have stuff. We have been hardwired to receive this stuff, man. Like, it's not but we have opioid receptors as well. And look, I'm not bad-mouthing opiates. I'm saying that the way that opiates are prescribed and used in our world.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because I think that there's obviously a certain use and a need for opiates and for certain
absolutely.
things. I mean, when they're used in the right way, they can work miracles. But what we're saying is being abused and just like the doctor said. Here you go. I didn't even check if you have any history of addiction or Norco abuse. Here's 20 pills. Knock yourself out.
And look, man, were opiates ever intended to be a long-term use?
No, they were a short-term.
Anybody who's ever known anyone who's been addicted to opiates, was that intended to be a long-term use thing? And that's what I'm saying, is that our protocol for treating. I mean, look, dude, it's not just. These veterans, man, these guys that are going over. I mean, these are guys from Vacaville. These are guys from American Fork. These are guys from Provo. They didn't grow up throwing rocks and bottles at tanks. Okay, they grew up. They went to high school. They chased girls. They blow dried their hair. I'm serious, dude. Like, that's what we do. We care about the way we look here. And you put these guys and you equip them. They're machines, dude. I mean, you get in and I love our military, dude. I'm grateful to be American. I am down, dude. Sure. Like, I am grateful. This is an amazing country, and we're doing a lot of good stuff. Does that mean we're perfect? Hell no. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for where I'm at and for the freedoms that we do enjoy.
Yeah.
But man, they're prescribing these dudes Xanax.
You're talking about our veterans.
I'm talking about our veterans that are too. Dude. I got a guy, in fact, he's here at the conference. I would love for you to, dude, you want to, bro, there's a dude here right now. I hope he don't mind telling his story. I'm not even going to say his name.
Yeah, that's cool.
A year ago, I can show you my messages on my phone. A year ago, this guy was begging me to help save his life. Okay. He was, this guy's special forces.
I was going to say he's a veteran.
This guy is a badass, dude, like a badass. I think he served 6 or 7 tours.
Damn.
I mean, he's got pictures on his Facebook page of him pooping in a combat zone. He's like, yo, to all the, I mean, this guy's, got a family, good looking, easy to talk to, This guy was suicidal, bro. This guy was going to take himself out last year, Shane. I was on the phone with my people trying to get this dude in somewhere. I was going to bring him to my house in Oregon, but we were just acquiring the farm. There was so much going on that I wasn't in a place where I could bring this guy and welcome him into my home, which is usually what I do, man. Like, yo, dude, you're somebody who really wants to get better. Like, if I can see it in their eyes and hear it in their voice, man, that like, you want to get better, you know, like that motivational speaker says, you got to want it as bad as you want to breathe, man. And that's the truth. If you don't want to get off dope, if your parents are sending you here because they want to get you off dope, no, dude, I'll put you somewhere and I'll just life coach you from a distance. Anyway, this guy was suicidal, bro. And he's here. He's working as a rep for another. I stayed in contact with him. He went to a treatment center for 6 months. We were actually trying to do some stuff together with some TV stuff.
Did you know he was going to be here? Did you just run into him? You just ran into him.
Bro, I saw him yesterday and we made eye contact and I kind of just watched. And he's looking at me and I'm like, why isn't he saying hi to me?
Yeah.
I know, but I was talking to some other people. It was just, we were both just kind of.
Is that?
Dude, I would love, if you want to get this guy on the show, I would love to. I'm telling you.
Let's try to find him.
He is he's an advocate, dude. He's and he's somebody like they wanted me to do a TV show. They wanted to get me a motorhome and have me go across the country dealing with helping veterans.
Yeah, that's badass, dude.
It was badass, and I love our military, dude. I respect these fools, man, but I felt like I was being put in a position that I wasn't equipped to handle. You know, so, I've got stab wounds. I've been in some crazy situations, man.
Well, I was gonna say, but you can relate to that. You can relate to that form of PTSD.
I think I can relate, but I just felt like I was an imposter.
What do you mean?
I just felt like I was like, I don't even know what those guys went through, man. Like my boy Keith, I won't say his last name, but I say my boy Keith told me he can't even go to a barbecue, man, because some bombs went off and a little girl, a 2-year-old little girl, and he was carrying her and her skin was melting onto him, and anytime he's at a barbecue, that's the smell that he gets. I mean, this dude is legitimately fucked up, man. Legitimately has stuff that go through, you know, talking to me about when he's at a barbecue and he has and those smells hit his nostrils, it sends him immediately into a PTSD moment where he's shaking, where he can't think clear. Like, it's real, bro. It's real.
So
and
sad,
we're
bro.
prescribing these dudes something that takes your fear away. You ever taken Xanax?
Yes.
Dude,
sorry.
The shit is crazy.
Yeah.
The shit is
took
crazy.
it with alcohol though, so like it was
Well,
more or
you
less
mix
like
the two?
mixed. I used to mix them, and I was never, just for the record, I never like had tons of Xanax and pop Xanax. But if there was a Xanax around and I was drinking, sure, I'll take a Xanax. You know,
and bro, these kids are. I mean, I was just working with a kid who told me he eats 15 Xanax a day.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And it's like it's a recipe for death too on that, from what I understand, because you mix those two, and it can stop your heart in its tracks, basically.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard the same thing.
Yeah.
And in doing the research that I've done, you know, this Keith kid, I got him involved in this project that I was working on and kind of nominated him to be the guy that would be willing to go out but he, you know, he's going through some of his own personal stuff at the time.
Yeah.
But
how's he doing now?
Oh, bro. He's
doing great.
He's doing awesome, man. He's working for. I mean, I went up to him yesterday and told him what a fucking difference a year makes, bro.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's a year ago, Shane.
Yeah.
It was a year ago. This dude was thinking about taking himself out, man. And you know, these military guys, especially these special forces dudes. You know, I'm not saying all military. Like they teach you to tap into your manhood, dude. I mean, these guys are beasts, bro. I mean, here we are in Coronado where the SEALs train.
Well, dude, I was gonna say we watched them last year. We watched them this year.
Hell week,
and
dude. Those guys are animals,
insane,
bro.
Man.
They're animals. I mean, those guys are
pitch black,
real deal,
pitch black, and they're out coming in from the ocean on the dinghies, man, holding them up. My lady and Cash, we were out there on the deck and we were watching the other night. And I'm just going, man, that's some special mindset. But I don't care how strong your mind is and how strong of a man you are, physically, mentally, you have that special thing. Going through what your homeboy went through, carrying a little girl like that, I just don't feel like as humans we're designed to see that shit and to feel that kind of stuff, man. Like I can't imagine what that does, to your mind and to your spirit too.
Sure.
And so how do you recover from something
How do you
like that,
recover from something like that and now, we understand, people throw that word around a lot, trauma. What is trauma? I have trauma. He has trauma. He had a traumatic event. He had a trauma response. What does that mean, dude?
Yeah.
What is trauma? And when I started going and doing my own work, man, and you start to hear, the nuts and bolts of trauma, that trauma is fragments that live in your body and float around. And one of your sense perceptions, the guy that I did some research, and a guy said he was walking down the street one time and a car slammed on its brakes. And the next thing he knew, he woke up and he was on the ground shaking and shivering. He had no idea what it was that brought him from being in an upright position, completely conscious and aware of what was going on, to in a fetal position, shaking uncontrollably. He had a trauma response. He was hit by a car when he was a kid.
Oh, wow.
So they've done so many, Judy Crane's involved in this, and brain mapping, and John West, and the Guest House, and the Meadows, and there's on-site. There's so many, we're starting to discover that, wait a minute, this trauma stuff isn't just people who are, claiming to be stuck in one place and can't get over it. Because then you have the people that will get over it, stop it. Well, how do you get over not being able to drive by a Burger King, not being able to walk and go to a beach because they're barbecuing on the, think about that, man. Put yourself in that dude's shoes and be able to look at reality for a minute from his lenses, dude. How do you put the pieces back together? And to have, I was talking to him about this, Shane. Most dudes don't talk like this, man. Most dudes don't talk about their feelings.
Who would want to talk about that shit?
Yeah. And Keith, he told me, I don't know what it is about you, man, but I feel like I can just talk to you. I feel like I can, and to hear him talking about like the thought processes that go on, the trauma responses that go on in his body. These people are walking around every day, man, and these people went and served our country nobly, dude. They went and put their necks on the line. You can say whatever you want, that our politicians, because I don't believe that we should be sticking our nose in everything, but hey, whatever, dude, whatever. Let's move past that and look at a kid who grew up in Northern California. I think that's where he's from. Anyway, that decided to join the military, realized once he was in the military that he's got something in him that sets him apart, went into special forces, combat infantry. So not just, this dude saw some shit, man. And he's got a kid himself.
Yeah.
Bro, he was. I was worried about him, dude, that he was going to put a gun in his mouth and pull the trigger, like 46 of them do, or I don't know if that number's right.
Well, it's a lot though. No, it's okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. I think it's 46 opiate addicts die a day. I think it's. I don't know what it is for our veterans, but whatever it is, dude.
It's too much.
It's too fucking many, man. When you know anybody and when you know their family. So anyway.
What finally has been working for Keith? For obviously it's not benzos and opiates that they're being prescribed. The veterans are being prescribed. That's not working. So what has been working for him, or what works in those situations? If we're not going to specifically talk about him, what are we thinking?
Keith's a leader, man.
Yeah.
He's a leader. When I met Keith, he was the strength and conditioning guy. At a treatment center up in Lake Arrowhead, Serenity Lodge. And that's how I met Keith.
Yeah.
The dude's jacked. He's special forces.
Yeah, he's badass, man.
Yeah, he looks like that. The sniper. The Keith. Kyle. What's that guy's name, man?
Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle.
Yeah. So and just for the record, then too, if Keith ever listens to this, I don't know if we'll end up chatting today, but that's a open invitation for him to ever come on. I'd love to talk to him and hear his story if he's ever interested in sharing it. But yeah. So what do you think has been working for him though? Strength and conditioning coach. That's where you met him. Has he just been staying active?
He went on this journey of his. After that, when I met the dude, I was looking at a guy who was a leader.
Yeah, for sure.
These kids were all looking up to this dude.
Yeah.
I was somebody who was like, this dude's got his shit together, man. He's a badass. Yeah. He walks like a badass. He's a badass, dude. And to hear him, on the other end, and in the beginning when he reached out to me, Shane, he was like apologetic, like he felt stupid for burdening me.
I was just going to say, was he burdened?
with
that's
his
true.
and I felt honored, to be in a position where this dude was telling me the things that he was telling me. But personally, I think might sound cliche, but you want out of this, you want out of your own darkness, start doing your own homework, start doing and some real shit. You got to put the dope down, you got to put the drink down, and you got to really go within, man. You got to do some homework, man.
Put in work.
You got to put in some work, and when you do that, you got to look over your shoulder, not to keep looking back at your own past. Look over your shoulder and grab the hand of the next motherfucker, man, who's going through their shit.
Yeah.
Because
it's that service work.
It is, man. And once you start to realize, dude, that other people are going through even more than you're going through, and that we are all connected, dude, that it is one, and that if you can feel other people and the pain that they're going through, it somehow lightens your own, man. And I don't know if it's not from looking at somebody and being like, oh, look at this guy, he's more fucked up than I am. I used to watch Datelines because I'm like, hey, I'm not as fucked up as I think I am. Look at these motherfuckers, they're crazy motherfuckers. But I think that it's there's strength in the struggle, dude. And I've always said, like, pain understands pain. When you can go and just hold space with somebody, like, I'm not here to give you answers, man. Yeah. I'm not here to say the words that you need to hear to make that pain in your heart stop hurting. What I'm here to do, dude, is unite myself with you, that you ain't alone. Yeah. You're not alone in this, man. And I know you feel alone. I know you feel like a fucker. But the truth of the matter is that's not true, dude. That's not true. That anyone, and Dope Bra was telling Keith all this stuff last year. He's telling me I've ruined 2 families. I've dragged people down. I mean, just giving himself the business, man. And I'm like, Keith, if you're somebody who loves Keith, what's their story? I know that's your story right now, bro. I respect it. I'm not here to tell you it's wrong. It's your journey, and I'm going to honor it. But I am asking you to ask yourself, is that the truth for people who love Keith, man?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the toughest things is to, there's my family there. What's up, guys? They can come on in. Is to give ourselves grace. I know I struggled with that for a minute, is to give myself grace about things. Even since I've said this a couple of times in the podcast, but even since I was a kid, always hard on myself, even into adulthood. But we got to give ourselves some grace. What's up, guys? All right, come back in just a few, like 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, dude, that little boy, bro.
He's so funny,
gorgeous.
man.
Oh yeah, gosh.
They're all awesome.
Oh gosh,
it's great that I get to bring them down here and they hang out, man. Big thanks to Foundations for letting us come down and do this too, man. Just for sitting in here and having these great conversations, man. It's a great conversation we just had, man. And I really appreciate you coming on and hanging out and doing the thing and your work, man. It's just fucking awesome, bro. Like, you love what you do, right?
I love what I do. I do.
I mean, it's not an easy job. I talked to Brian O'Shea yesterday, and about interventions and stuff too. And I said, man, you guys got the hardest damn job, because you're on the front lines. You're helping the people who a lot of the time don't want to be helped. Yeah. So how do you even? I mean, navigating around that shit is not easy. And so mad props.
All right, right on, man. I appreciate that, dude. Thanks for having me, and always good talking with you, dude. There's some cool things going on in this industry. There's some cool things going on in our world, and I think they're starting to get tied in together, man. And it's really cool to see and be a part of. So thank you.
So if folks want to reach out to you, they want to find more info about you. Number one, I would encourage you, before Tad lets us know that, go back and listen to episode 97. You can hear Tad's full story on there. It's an amazing story, and it's fucking crazy, actually. But check that out. And then, Tad, where can folks find you at?
My cell phone number is 541-709-4735, or they can call the hotline. It's 866-96-SOBER. That's 866-967-6237. I'm currently collaborating with a treatment center out in Desert Hot Springs that was designed to be a alternative for cancer patients. And there are so many similarities when you're, people who are addicted and they're coming off of hard drugs. There needs to be some serious work done with the human body. We're toxic as a people. Fast food, GMOs, trans fats, free radicals. Like, we are toxic as a people. Our water is, dude. I mean, come on, man. So, there's this place out there is absolutely amazing. It's called Living Longer Recovery, and it is going to be the business.
Nice,
It is amazing. I mean, tubs that the San Andreas Fault's been rubbing up against each other for 80 million years.
Yeah.
That's where that water's drawn from, dude. We are right on the fault line in DHS. So you're bringing water right from Mother Earth. They've got an oxygen chamber. They've been treating alcoholism in Russia since like the 50s or 60s with
Really?
oxygen. Yeah. So I mean, dude, this is and it's a crystal palace. I hooked you up with some crystals. It's a crystal.
Thank you for that, by the way.
The dude who is the owner was a miner his whole life in Brazil, and literally the whole place is amethyst, jade, rose quartz. It's dude,
badass, dude.
Oh man, it's amazing.
You gave me the flyer here, man. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, come see
check
us,
it out.
dude. Come see us and
Hot
check
Springs,
it out.
California. Make sure you got your earthquake preparation kit too. Right on, man. And you can also, folks, you can check it out, www.awakenindustries.net. There's some more info on there. Tad, man, thanks again, my brother. I appreciate it, man.
Dude, much love, Shane. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Coming to you from Innovations in Recovery in San Diego, California. Big thanks to Foundations for having us out. Check us out at thatsoberguy.com. Thank you for tuning in today. Check out all the episodes we've done. It's been a great time. Peace, love, respect, and keep your blood clean. And bye, Bodie. Bodie, see you later, buddy. Peace.